This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Rikky, Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, Eddie Costello, LightBlindedFool, and the Amyrlin seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jay-Z and Antoine Benoit to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. We also want to thank Mrs. Rugrat for increasing their pledge over at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. We also want to thank and acknowledge Gabrielle Vanderlaan for renewing her annual Patreon pledge. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate all of your support. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 19 and 20 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 19 is Diamonds and Stars, and chapter 20 is Patterns Within Patterns.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's kind of interesting. Chapter 20 was actually one of my contenders for favorite chapters of the book.
Ooh.
Just because there's so much, critical information that happens in that chapter.
Yeah, I could see that.
Really peeling back layers here.
I mean, for information, yeah, good chapter.
Yeah.
Or do I like everything that happens and how it happens?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I feel like that's going to be a theme of the book.
Don't love it. Like, for me to be a contender for a favorite chapter,
Yeah.
I have to really, love the chapter and be like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
I didn't get that feeling with this one.
I'll explain my rationale.
No, I get your rationale.
Okay,
You don't
I
need
guess
to
so.
explain
I guess
it. We
so.
all know you.
Yeah,
we know
fine.
why.
Whatever, I don't care. There's a few contenders in this book. There's some good chapters.
Are they still coming up?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
people know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You know, they know. They know.
Okay.
Okay. You just gotta wait for it.
It's not like we already talked about them.
No, it's not.
Okay,
They're not
okay.
done and past, and it's over now. No, I would have told you. Come on.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I feel like I've been in a daze half of this book. But I'm really, really looking forward to the second half to pick up, and I want to feel more positively about this book.
Fair. Next chapter, we are over the halfway mark.
Yeah, I didn't realize how negative I was being.
Okay.
Some people have pointed it out to me.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, no, they're like, I can tell you're not really into this book. And, comments as such. So,
Okay.
So maybe I need to start finding some positives in here, I think.
You're just feeling how some of the characters are feeling, and some of them aren't having a good time so far this book.
Isn't that the point of the writing?
That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah, nailing it. So, okay. So I'm going to start us off with my fun fact for today, which is all about book corrections. Because in this chapter, or in these chapters, chapter 20 specifically,
Okay.
there are a couple things that need to be corrected. And one of them, I didn't actually know was a correction for a long time.
Really?
Long time.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, first off, the smaller of the two corrections in my mind is that Kadar is talking to Savannah,
Yeah.
and he mentions that there's 6 channeling wise ones, when in fact there's 7
There's
because we
7.
get names.
Yeah.
So that's corrected from 6 to 7 now.
Okay.
But the bigger correction is when they're talking about the use of illusion, right? The Mirror of Mists.
Yes.
In this chapter, it's referenced as the Mask of Mirrors.
Mask of Mirrors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that.
Okay, so that was an alternative name that got corrected because back in Lord of Chaos, we got an entire chapter.
Mirror of Mists.
It was even titled Mirror of Mists.
Okay.
So now it's corrected throughout this book to Mirror of Mists. Now, when I was reading these, the Mask of Mirrors was the way that I always thought about this ability.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't know that it was a mistake. I just assumed it was like a third alternative name.
Yeah, I didn't think
for the
anything of it
ability.
either.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize that Mask of Mirrors and Mirrors of Mist
Yeah.
were different. To me, I was like, oh yeah, that mirrors thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been far enough away that I really didn't I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was wrong.
Well, here's the thing. I actually prefer the term Mask of Mirrors.
Yeah, me too.
I like it better because
Yeah,
it's the
me too.
mask.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
That's
For your face.
what it is.
Put it on your face.
You put it on your body.
Anyways, we're stuck
Yeah.
with Mirror of Mists.
Okay, that's fine.
But, it's how it is.
It is how it is.
Yep.
Okay, now last time we were here, Matt was attacked at the inn
Yeah.
where he's staying.
Yeah.
And Some Black Aja sisters did some dark friendy stuff.
That's true.
Someone watched the house where they did the evil stuff.
An unknown perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got that Rand is in Kyrian, and he's trying to prove to the Aiel that he isn't being controlled by the Aes Sedai. Berylane is pissed off and doesn't want to go back to Mayenne. And then we got Cadsuane, the oldest Aes Sedai ever, showing up to provoke Rand a little.
Yeah, poking the bear.
And not ever, just right now. She's the oldest.
For sure. Well, okay.
We don't get ever, do we?
So here's the thing. We will. Because I have some glossary definitions for you in this chapter.
Ooh, interesting.
So we'll talk about who Cadsuane is as a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the thing we're not supposed to talk about.
Age. Yeah, well, she talks about it.
She just doesn't play by those rules.
She's one of those old people who just says whatever the hell she wants. It doesn't even care.
Because she's so old, it doesn't matter.
But she's old and she's strong, so she can do whatever the hell she wants.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it makes people uncomfortable.
Exactly.
All right. So anyway, Rand didn't like all of that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody did.
No.
Yeah.
No one likes this.
Yeah.
But especially Rand.
Especially
Rand's
Rand.
having a hard time. Oh, and there was an instance at the very end of the chapter where he found out that guy was all ripped up.
Right.
Herod Fell.
That guy has a name.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Chapter 19. Diamonds and stars, and the chapter symbol is the flame of Tarvalin.
Yeah. And diamonds and stars because the bobbly bangles in her
hair. The bobbly bangles in her hair.
Yeah.
Jubles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Lots of them. She likes them.
She sure does.
They just like bobble around as she's like walking around. So, yeah.
I like that style.
Okay.
Now we enter in a Marana perspective, which is interesting because Marana was just like serving tea and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Now
she's also known as the greatest negotiator of all times, so just keep that in
her own head.
Yeah, keep that in mind throughout this chapter.
In her own head, though.
No
one else thinks that.
There's like proof, right?
There's a couple.
You're not buying?
No.
Okay.
She certainly does think.
But think of all those things that she did.
Yeah. No. All right, so we have Marana and Anora, who just left the throne room with Cadsuane, and they're following her as if they're both still, like, novices about to be punished.
Yeah.
And we get a bit of a backstory on this Cadsuane character.
Yeah. And it's from Marana's perspective.
So,
like what Marana knows of her.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so she met her once before as a novice, and Cadsuane has forever been the standard by which every new novice is judged in terms of like power potential because she's super strong. But that kind of stopped when Elaine showed up because Elaine showed up first out of like Elaine, Egwene, Nynaeve.
Yes.
And now they're the new standard. And now we've got some other people who are more powerful getting sprinkled in too.
Also, something has to do with Elida in there too, right?
Yeah, Elida also, we had thought process of her. Everyone saying, "Oh, you're so powerful," which is also why she's probably like such a brat because everyone was always talking about how good she was.
Okay.
Besides the point, Cadsuane also refused to become a sitter, which is basically unheard of.
Uh-huh.
She refused becoming the head of the Green Aja twice, which is like also unheard of. And when they were going to force her to become the Amyrlin, she disappeared from the tower for 10 years because she was going to say, "Shove it up your butt, I'm not doing it."
Yes.
Because she likes to go out on her adventures in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what she's done. And the adventure stories make their way back to the tower every once in a while. And Marana thinks about how the fact that she is, if not already going to go down in history, like she's already there.
Yeah.
She's a legendary status hero.
Clearly.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And the oldest living Aes Sedai.
Yes. Yeah, because we kind of get ages here. So Marana thinks about how...
Yeah, something about like...
Yeah, she had been in Aes Sedai for 25 years, and 25 years later, blah, 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 because she went into retirement, then came back, and then left again. So that's why I want to kind of dig into the glossary definition really quick here to give you some hard numbers on this stuff for the series.
You do that now?
Yeah, I'm going to do that now, because this is like one of the first books where we really get all those hard dates.
Okay. So it's time for glossary definitions with Brett.
So the glossary definition is for Cadsuane, and I'm not going to go through all of it because it's pretty much everything we hear in this chapter that we're going to talk about anyways. However, there is a sentence here where it says she was thought to have been born around 705 New Era. So the arbitrary calendar started about the time of Archer Hawkwing's reign ending. So 1,000 years ago. So that 1,000 years since then is considered New Era. Okay? So we currently are at about 1,000 New Era.
Okay.
So we know that because of a couple things. Number one, she was born 705, so she's about 295 years old. And she's the oldest of the oldest Aes Sedai that anyone's basically seen or heard or whatever.
Okay.
Super old.
Yeah.
295 years.
And to be fair, we don't know how old Aes Sedai lived in Age of Legends, right?
We kind of do, and I'll get to that because we get that information in these chapters too.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Because we got that old Aes Sedai in the Ruidian stuff.
But we'll talk.
That's what I'm thinking of? Am I on the right track?
No. But that's okay.
Oh.
That's okay. We'll talk about it. Well, that's... So then, we also have the definition for the Aiel War, which happened in 976 to 978 New Era.
And I hope everybody's writing this down, because there will be a test.
The point is that happened 20 years before the start of the series. So the series started in 998, and it's been about 2 years, so we are in about the 1000th year.
Oh my gosh,
New Era.
We didn't even worry about any sort of computers crashing.
We didn't. We didn't.
We don't worry about anything. We didn't even have a...
Nothing.
Maybe that's why the
Everything's
New Year's
going to
celebration
shit, right?
was so crazy this year. Maybe it's not normally that crazy.
So here's the thing. We also know that every 1,000 years, Ishamael like to come out and mess stuff up.
Ooh.
Which is why every 1,000 years things go down. So we're at about the 1,000-year mark.
Here we go.
Okay. So there we go. So we get ages, dates, kind of hard-lined for when the series started, where we are now.
And you're going to tell me more about ages and stuff
later?
Okay.
Later, yeah.
Okay. I'll ask my questions
But yeah,
then.
Cadsuane, 295 years old, roughly.
Okay, I can remember that.
Cool.
Okay, so these three Aes Sedai are walking through the halls of the palace in Cairhien. There's a couple wise ones watching them cross through the hallways, and Cadsuane acts like she doesn't even notice them.
Yeah.
And Marana thinks about how she's gonna have to explain to Cadsuane about the whole compromise that was worked out with the wise ones last night before they were allowed back in the palace again.
Yeah.
So this answers a lot of questions that I had about what Marana was doing with Rand and how she was allowed to be there, and it was a whole thing, right?
So this isn't about the original deal or whatever happened coming back.
New.
This is new for them getting in today. So yeah.
Okay, and then we get more of her thoughts on how good of a negotiator she is.
She's so good, yeah. So I was actually going to ask you, because we don't really see Cadsuane's entire opinion yet on things.
Yeah.
Because she also doesn't know the full story of what happened to Rand. So considering she's kind of the no-nonsense kind of woman, from what we can tell, you
could say that.
Yeah, I'm just very lightly. Do you think that she's going to be on board with the way the Aes Sedai are being treated by Rand and the Wise Ones? Or is she going to be nope, nobody can treat Aes Sedai that way? Or is she going to think they made their bed, they can lie in it now?
Oh no, she's going to think no one can treat Aes Sedai that way.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, there's something a little later on, I don't even know if I wrote it down, but I remember reading about how Cadsuane thinks to herself, oh, well, all of this is going to have to be changed. About something, because the Aes Sedai aren't doing something the way she likes it to be.
Okay.
Or, no, it's the Aiel who can channel, don't go to the tower.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's time yet. They'll all end up going.
We gotta
if
fix
I
that.
have anything to say about it. So, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, Cadsuane leads them to the room that Bera and Karuna share. And they're both greens, right? And Cadsuane's a green?
Yes.
So, that might be a thing?
It is a thing, and Marana thinks about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're 100% right on that.
Okay.
But also, it's a thing that's not really directly mentioned or talked about, but all the Aes Sedai are sharing rooms in the servants' quarters.
Right.
So it's whoa, that's not cool, but that's apparently part of the deal for coming into the palace here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And now another person playing the victim mentality. This happens quite a bit in this series where somebody thinks, I have it so bad, I bet the people over there are doing just fine.
Yeah.
Example, Perrin sleeping on the floor or on the ground going to save Rand, thinking that he's being treated
in the wagon
as a prisoner sleeping in a bed or something.
Yeah. And I think Rand and Egwene had that back and forth of being treated so nicely.
Egwene was I bet Rand takes baths every night. This happens all the time. And here we have Marana thinking that the Tower Aes Sedai, who are currently prisoners
Yeah.
of the wise ones,
They probably have it better.
They probably sleep better.
Shoot.
Why would you think that?
Grass is greener. No, you're right. That's a thing people do.
It's just the victim mentality, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, they don't have it better. I can guarantee. I haven't seen them or their living quarters, and I can guarantee
it is worse.
that it's worse. All right. Anyway, so we have another person here because we have Bear and Karuna who aren't here yet, and we have a white Aja in the room.
Yes.
Whose name is
Daigian.
Okay.
Yeah. So Daigian is one of the ones who had come with Cadsuane.
Okay.
Cadsuane has two, like, I don't want to call them lackeys.
That's the word I was
like
thinking.
Friends.
Nope.
Okay.
No, lackeys is better.
Okay, lackeys.
I don't think
Followers.
Cadsuane has friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Cadsuane says to Marana, since you're here in Kyrian, I take it that the boy submitting to Elida isn't true. Also, I know all about your associations.
Yeah, so that would probably refer to, like, the rebellion that's going on currently.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're aligned with the Saladar sisters.
That's right. And then Anora says that she's only here to advise Berylane, and she ignored the advice about coming here at all.
Yeah, so she's not taking his side on the other stuff.
On the tower issues and everything. I haven't made a decision yet.
And it's like, okay, guys, if we just stall for, like, ever, does that count as not making a decision?
No, that you've made a decision.
Yeah.
You've made a decision to not pick a side.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
And by not picking a side, you kind of pick a side.
Exactly.
Which
Against the tower.
Which Cadsuane gets called out on in this chapter too.
Okay, and now for the record, I'm going to do my very best to keep up with all of this Aes Sedai back and forth, everything that's going on.
That's fine.
I'm already a little lost.
That's okay. I'll clarify as we go.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Anyway, in true old lady fashion, Cadsuane's like, well, that's probably a good idea, considering there's too many sisters acting stupid and making rash decisions.
Yeah.
So now, Marana stumbles over her words a little bit, which is odd for her.
Because she's such a good negotiator.
Yes, and it makes her uncomfortable being in her presence.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, Cadsuane, what are your intentions? Obviously, you've been holding yourself aside until now. Why have you decided to approach now? You weren't exactly diplomatic about coming in and talking to Rand.
Yeah, it didn't go well. And Anora agrees that it's like, hey, you basically slapped the guy.
Yeah.
And what's the game plan? Fill us in.
Because Cadsuane says, well, if you want to see what a man is made of, push him from a direction he doesn't expect. And then she says, there's good metal in the boy, but he'll be difficult. Plus, he has a whole lot of rage, and he's holding it by a thread.
Yeah, and, like, fair, he does have a lot of rage.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because of Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Like, some because of the stress and pressure and madness and taint.
Sure.
But, like, a lot of it is coming from you guys.
Of course.
So, hey.
Of course.
Yeah, so we get more of Cadsuane's backstory, so I'll just fill you in there, too.
Because she also mentions Logain and Taim and,
and
dealing with a lot of men who can channel.
She's been doing all the stuff in the background in the series that we haven't directly seen or been involved with, so she does have that. And apparently she's not a big fan that all of her, like, life's work is being thrown away right now, because the Black Tower is a thing. Right. And she's known for, like, capturing many men who can channel.
A Reds thing?
It is, but she also, gets drawn to adventure and stuff, so the original news of Logain, way back when, is what brought her out of her retirement.
Okay.
Like, second retirement, because she retired before the Aiel War.
And the Aiel War brought her out of retirement.
Yeah, and she came back with, like, new orders and stuff, and then, like, went back in retirement, and now she came back for Logain.
She's had a lot of orders.
Yes, and then apparently...
in her 300 years.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny, too, because she says, like, a side note about gardening, and she says, if you're going to use the power, then, like, what's the point of gardening? And if you're not going to use the power, it's really friggin' hard to garden.
It's hard. Gardening's hard.
So, like, it all sucks. So that's why I went after Logain. So then she helped capture Logain, apparently. But once he was caught, she didn't want to go back to the tower. So then she just, like, wandered around for a bit. And then she heard about Taim, so she wrote off for Saldea. And then one thing leads to another, and now she's here. So,
and now she's here.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you explain to me about what Cadsuane means when she asks Marana if she was involved in that vileness right after the Aiel War?
So I sort of can speak to it a little bit. But...
Because Marana's confused.
Yes.
I'm confused. Honora looks stunned.
Yeah.
And is like, I might have been part of something.
So here's the thing. That has a lot to do with New Spring.
Okay.
So we can't talk about much of it right now.
Okay.
But we will in the future.
Okay.
But I want you to plug and box it away that she asks, what about the vileness right after the Aiel War?
Oh, okay.
And then apparently we get, like, them not really knowing. Honora kind of sounds stunned, and, like, maybe she knows.
She spent time trying to make the Grand Coalition more than a name.
Yeah, so the Grand Coalition.
Everybody against the Aiel. So
exactly.
Like, why don't we all just stay friends?
So that's exactly what it was.
Why do we all have to fight?
So after the Aiel War ended, all the Greys and stuff went around.
World peace.
Yeah, and they didn't do that.
No.
Also, for the fact that Marana was also involved in that, and she didn't know that Honora was. It's like, maybe that's part of the problem, is let each other know who's working on which project right now to make the Grand Coalition, all the nations uniting together.
And is that
more
vileness, or there's got to be more
That's
to
separate.
That
That is not about the Grand Coalition.
Okay.
Because Honora says, I don't know what you're talking about. I was dealing with this Grand Coalition business. I wasn't involved with the vileness right after the Aiel War.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about it later.
So I'll tell you, we did get a little bit of backstory from Alviarin and Elida's perspectives about a whole bunch of, like, Amyrlins dying and things like that.
Ooh, okay.
There was a whole bunch of funny business
like
going on.
all Ray one after the other, and then that's when Swan was finally...
A lot of funny business, I'll just say that.
Okay.
Okay? We'll do...
Funny business with Aes Sedai?
Yeah.
No way.
And,
I'm surprised.
Yeah. So anyways...
Okay.
Why are people dying? Why are things happening in the world?
I guess...
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Because this is where Baruna... Nope, that's both of them.
That's good.
And Karuna.
You know, just because they're the same. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Baruna. It's just... When I say that, it's just both of them.
Yeah.
They're just both there being the same person.
You know what? I accept that.
They literally could be the same person.
Yeah.
I don't know... Like, why there
one
needs
has
to
3
be
waters,
two?
one has 4. Nobody knows who has which. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're the same people.
There could just be one with 7.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're the same.
All right, so Baruna, as, you know, maybe she'll be named in the show.
Maybe, you know what?
Maybe there'll be one character named Baruna.
With 7, it is fine.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, they show up being led by another yellow sister.
One of Cadsuane's lackeys, Corell, yes. So Cadsuane has 2 lackeys. Daigen, which we also get referenced here, is she's basically the weakest Aes Sedai in the tower. Mm-hmm. She's like the weakest. So she's always like super deferent to everybody because we know how hierarchy works.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's why she's the one pouring tea.
Yeah, okay.
But Corell is leading Bera and Karuna, and she picked them up from the Wise Ones, and that's when we get that little snippet of, oh, let me tell you about the Cerelia character. Can you believe Bera and Karuna were, like, listening to these Aiel savages?
Yikes. Can you believe it?
Don't like it.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, they don't look happy either.
Yeah.
But when they see Cadsuane, their jaws drop.
Yes, and then we kind of get a little bit of, like, a bunch of Aes Sedai names that are confusing. But what happens is Marana makes a reference, because she's like, wow, Bera and Karuna seeing this, like, legendary sister from their own Aja, it would be like me seeing these other legendary people from my Aja.
Sure.
And that's why we got, like, Alin, Daifel, Savannah, Mabrium. She lists a bunch of names that we don't know them.
Yeah,
She's just like, whoa, it's like meeting your own heroes in a very unfortunate circumstance, like Bera and Karuna are not in a... Yeah.
They're not in a good position.
No, to meet Cadsuane.
Right.
So...
All right. So Barrett does the whole "I thought you were dead" thing, and Cadsuane is like, "I'm sick of hearing that."
Everybody says that.
And then Corell says that she found Bera sitting meek as a mouse under the eyes of 6 of those Aiel Wilders.
Yeah.
And so that's that whole situation.
Yep.
Then Marana thinks, oh, good, I'm not the only one who's going to have to explain here to Cadsuane.
Yeah, about the Aes Sedai and Rand and all, like, now it's out of the bag, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to be the one to break the news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, does not want to. So Cadsuane says, let's see if I have this straight. You're all in a rebellion against a lawfully raised Amyrlin. Debatable.
Yeah.
I guess technically lawful...
I mean,
Sorta.
yeah, it's like, barely lawful. Okay,
lawful. Okay. We're somehow associated with Althor over here.
Yeah, you're doing something.
And you're taking orders from Aiel women who are also taking orders from him.
So that means that you guys are just literally taking orders from Rand.
Right, and then she's like, but what about Elidas? Are they apprenticing as well?
Yeah.
No.
No, they're prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Karuna's like, I don't know, we're kept apart from each other.
Yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
Technically true.
Yeah, and then Cadsuane tells them that Elida is overambitious and probably a catastrophe, but she's still the Amyrlin seat and was lawfully raised by the Hall.
Yeah, so this is the part where Bera calls out Cadsuane.
And says, if Elida is the lawful Amyrlin, then why haven't you obeyed her to order
Yes.
the return?
Yes, exactly. So why haven't you gone back to the tower?
Yep.
She ordered everyone go back. So that's the whole hypocrisy
But
part.
Cadsuane says, I never go back.
Well, and that's the thing. Cadsuane's
Yeah.
like, okay, now one of you has a spine, so that's good. She's poking. That's what she does. She pokes everybody.
Mm-hmm. And she's got a lot more questions.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, we get a whole list of questions here.
Yeah. Rumors of Forsaken being loose, and if they have any evidence of that, and then we get summaries of all these topics about Rand's authority with the Aiel, why the Sea Folk are here, if Moraine is really dead, if Rand has rediscovered traveling, whether Berylane slept with Rand,
Yeah.
and then she also found out about Alana's bond with Rand,
Yeah, and how that went down.
how that happened, and she frowned.
Yeah, so like, okay, I guess that's the best reaction we're going to get? I don't know.
I guess we'll see if Cadsuane has an interaction with
Alana.
Alana.
Yeah, I feel like she might...
Because Alana's green, right?
Yes, that's true too.
So there'd be some authority there because of that?
There would be
perhaps?
authority regardless
Well,
because
regardless,
it's
but,
Cadsuane.
like,
Probably more.
worse,
Probably
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But also, it's one of those things like, what is she going to think about that? Maybe she's like, well, it had to happen, so, you know.
Maybe.
It's just every Aes Sedai we see who thinks about that, they're like, that's bad, but I guess it's done. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, there's no, like, we need to make her release him. We need to.
Or whatever.
Or anything.
Anything.
It's like, why didn't you try to control him?
Yeah.
And Alana says, I did. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I don't know how she's going to actually really feel about that.
That's fair. I don't know much. I don't know much about this character
No,
at all,
we don't.
actually.
We don't.
No. And so Marana decides to make one more effort at asking Cadsuane, like, why she's here.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
What's
Why
the
are
deal?
you interested in Rand now? And so Cadsuane stares at her and then turns back to Baruna and says,
Yeah.
So they actually managed to kidnap him right out of the palace? And you're sure Taim was with them? So she's just like, not answering any questions. She doesn't want to. And she's just going to change the subject and ask questions about other interesting things that
like,
happen.
did the traveling thing actually happen the way you thought it did? And they don't actually know because they didn't really see it.
No.
You know, fog of war and all that, so I get it. But, yeah, they're as sure as they can be that it's like, yeah, the Ashaman are real and traveling is real. This is all happening.
Yes.
So, there's not much for it.
Right. And then this perspective ends with Marana thinking about what their oaths to Rand meant and what they really have to do to defend, support, and obey Rand.
Yeah, and like that they are locked into that oath.
Yes.
Because they've thought about it and there's no loopholes in it. They have to do that.
That's right.
Also important to note, the details of Rand's treatment by the Aes Sedai did not come out.
Right.
So Cadsuane does not know how the Tower Sisters treated Rand.
Well, because Rand doesn't want anyone to know that,
No,
right?
and that's what she thinks is like, Rand made it very well known how displeased he'd be if that comes out.
Which is interesting, because from my perspective, I want everyone to know that.
Yeah, but that's the whole, like, power thing. It's like the Dragon Reborn legend, and he's kidnapped and tortured.
That's true.
Like, he must not be the real Dragon Reborn then.
Right, if that can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I also agree,
But
yeah,
but on the flip side, it's like, number one, look how terrible these people are.
Sure.
And number two, look how awesome I am because they tried to kidnap and torture me.
And it didn't work,
And
yeah.
it didn't work, and I busted out, and now I'm taking revenge, so no one else tried.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I get it, but it's like the rumors, right? It can go,
Like, it
who
wouldn't
knows?
work. It
yeah.
would never work because I busted out of there.
And I mean, it was trauma. He doesn't want to talk about his trauma. And like, I get that too.
Also that.
So
also definitely
all fair.
that.
All fair.
Yes.
Okay, so that was an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I did want to mention before about the age of how that works, we got a reference in Lord of Chaos from Grendel thinking about how she, in the Age of Legends, was just over 300 years old, and she was considered into her middle years.
Oh, so, okay. So, like, at least double this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is like...
So not oldest ever.
Not old,
just oldest living currently.
That the Aes Sedai know about. Like, they reference Cadsuane as like, this is the oldest one.
Okay.
There's nobody who's like lived more than her, really.
In recent times.
That they know of.
Yes.
And it's like, Aes Sedai have long lifespans. If she's 300 years old, they should have some like...
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's really strong, right?
Yeah.
And we got that in the Age of Legends, everyone was like very strong. Because we get the Forsaken thinking that all these Aes Sedai are like
children. Yeah, exactly.
Weak little children.
Yeah, that's true.
And so maybe your strength in the power has to do with how long you can live for.
Very possible. Okay.
Maybe.
So like the more strong, the longer you live?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
there you go.
Connection.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up this perspective.
Yeah.
And now we're going to switch into Min's perspective.
Yeah.
I don't love this.
Yeah. It's, okay.
I am mad at Robert Jordan for this.
So there...
It is...
Yeah.
Okay. There is some realistic nature of this.
Sure.
I understand, like, seeking comfort and...
Yep.
You know, grief banging, all of that.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But, like, I don't love this for Min and Rand.
Yeah.
It's not...
Especially for, like, the first time.
It's hardly romantic.
Okay.
It's not good. Okay.
It's a tough situation.
It was surprising.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was the most predictable thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
When she was, like, hustling to him, all, like, crying and stuff, and then he's in this sort of traumatic state, I was like, I bet they're gonna bang right now.
Gonna
I
happen.
bet this is it. And then it, like, literally happened.
So why are you mad at the super realistic writing then? Apparently, if it's that predictable and you know it's gonna happen.
Because it's also a book I'm reading for entertainment, and sometimes I don't want the most realistic thing ever to be happening to my characters.
Okay, well, don't worry. This time also lasted 3 to 4 hours.
Good.
Do you want unrealistic or do you want realistic? Like, what do you want here?
We don't know that this time. I guess the first time was pretty damn romantic.
Right. Was it, though?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're almost dead. And then,
part.
like...
Oh, yeah, that part wasn't great. But, like, in this, like, igloo...
Sure.
In the middle of, like, Shanchen, nowhere land, and...
Sure.
Yeah. Like, that was romantic. Cuddling under, like, blankets.
We're not even there yet. We're not even there yet. But I just gotta...
This was not romantic.
You know what? Elaine should have taken her opportunity back in the Stone and Tear.
Oh, she should have.
Right?
For sure.
She had the chance. She had the time. The means.
Now she's the last. First kisses.
First kiss.
But.
Yeah.
Last to...
seal the deal, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about this now, because there's also something else we need to talk about.
Well, okay.
I'm actually pretty happy about.
She could have been second if she had just gone to Camelin when she was supposed to.
That's true. Okay, let's talk about the thing that I'm kind of happy about.
What?
Colavir.
Oh my god, okay.
Did you forget about that?
Yeah, I did. It's not even important.
It's not important?
Oh, we knew it. We knew it was coming.
What do you mean?
Oh my god.
I didn't know this was coming.
Min had a viewing. You should be very well... her your viewings come true.
I know.
You even were like... You called it that she's like...
And for some reason, it didn't occur to me that she could hang herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she does.
Oh, man.
Okay,
let's get there.
Let's talk about
We just talked about the entire perspective without actually doing anything. Let's go through this.
We'll break it down. We'll zoom through this. So Min is hurrying through the palace wearing heeled boots that she put on for Rand.
Thinking about Colavir too at this point, and you didn't even like...
she thinks about how she should not have gone to Colavir's apartment.
Right.
And I was like, why? What happened there?
Yeah, I wonder.
Well, because at this point, I thought Colavir was gone. I don't know how long it's been.
Fair.
I thought maybe she was going, like, searching for something.
Ooh,
or something.
A clue.
And something was there that, is troubling.
Yeah,
I did pick up on that.
Okay.
But I didn't expect... Anyway.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, because I honestly have no idea how long it's been since Rand has shown up in Cairhien and made this announcement that Colavir is going to go be a farmer. Couple days?
Well, she did that announcement the same day they showed up.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know how long ago that was from right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
Sure. No, I get it. That's fair.
Yeah, because if it's been longer, like, if she had to go, like, the next day or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so now she gets to where Rand is, and the maidens are outside, and they're like, ooh, that guy's in a bad mood.
Yep. Which is fair.
But they don't try to stop her, because she can go in whenever she wants.
Yep.
And, you know, she gets into the room and takes a look around, and it's a disaster.
Yeah, because Rand just finished smashing things.
He's hucking things all around with the power.
Yeah, the spear is, like, embedded in the throne or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, everything's everywhere.
Yeah.
Mirrors are shattered.
But I'll note that she's not afraid of him. She can't imagine Rand hurting her.
Right.
So that's good.
Delusional.
Maybe a little bit. Like, he's also, you know...
He's also crazy.
Crazy, and, you know, things can happen, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, we hope that it doesn't.
Oh my gosh, yes. But delusional to think he would never. And I mean, like, maybe on purpose of his own volition he wouldn't.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, Dave's not here, man. Like,
right.
It's just, you never know what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
So now Min thinks a whole bunch about her feelings about Rand and Elaine and Avienda and that whole situation.
Yeah. And it's,
in
again,
the midst of
it's
this,
snuck
like,
in there like,
disaster,
oh, yeah.
And how she feels strongly for him, and...
Could almost ignore what she saw in Colavir's apartment.
Yeah, it's, like, snuck in there. Right.
It's all snuck in
and
there.
I'm
It's
like,
a little...
what was it?
What is it? It's Colavir.
Yeah. Ugh. So,
I don't know. Do we feel bad for her? Like, I don't know.
No,
I don't.
I feel good for her.
You feel good for her
Yeah.
being not here anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel good for her that she took her own fate into her own hands at this point.
I'd rather die than be a farmer.
Basically.
Yeah.
Because she was begging for it.
Yeah, I know. It's
she
just
was
like...
asking to just be executed. And then Rand was like, no, I'm super merciful. And she's like, this is worse.
Yeah. It's just...
This is
the
worst.
It's such a funny thing.
And I was like, give her an honorable, like, execution
you know how
and
many,
be done with it.
You know how many people would, like, you know, kill for a cute little estate in the countryside and all they have to do is, like, farm?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds wonderful.
What a lovely life.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
Hanging
myself.
Yeah. Well, because it's embarrassing.
I guess so.
From where she's coming from.
No one's going to see ya. You're at your estate.
Well, everything.
But it's a small estate.
Yeah.
The smallest.
Yeah.
So, shoot.
Well, also shame.
Right.
Shame.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm kind of feeling for Colavir because, like, we haven't even got there yet, but essentially, I think she was wrapped up in the Aes Sedai plot. How can you say no to a bunch of Aes Sedai?
Sure.
She got all caught up in it.
She murdered some people.
She had people murdered.
Yeah.
Because the Aes Sedai told her to.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, debatable.
I think
hinted.
I think
maybe
that once
hinted.
she was caught up in that, like, she just had to go with it, and she wanted the power. She wanted to be queen.
Yeah.
But she got caught up, and then didn't expect Rand to return. And when she did, she was like, okay, I get it. I'm out of here.
She's basically an innocent bystander in this entire thing.
I just feel a little bit for her in this situation.
I get it.
And the fact that she wanted an out, and Rand wouldn't give it to her because of his stupid woman hang-up thing.
Yeah, that is stupid. I don't like Rand for that. That's fair.
And I mean, like, I really don't like applauding a woman for killing herself.
Yeah.
That's not great. But the fact that Rand just, like, flat out refuses when he would absolutely, like, hang a man. He did, in fact, hang a man who was his friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, the double standard is dumb.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, a weird thing to be talking about. It's like, I wish that there was equality for, but seriously.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
It's a weird stance.
I think you got it all out there, and then we can never talk about Colavir again because she's dead now.
Okay. Pour one out for Colavir.
I guess so.
I'll have a drink.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, confession time. Because Rand sees Min and is like, hey, I've been sitting here all alone. And then, side note, he laughs at the word alone. And I'm trying to decipher what that means. I'm trying to decipher whether that means Lews Therin hasn't come back. Because remember, he's like, you're real, right? You're real. That's what he was thinking last time I saw him. So, either he hasn't come back and he's legitimately alone. Well, and he's like, because he doesn't want to be.
I'll say it's not that because he also has Alana.
No. I know that.
Okay.
But I was just thinking in reference to the Lews Therin thing to, like, talk to.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I know Alana's.
I would take it as more of, like, he's never alone ever, like, anymore, ever.
Yeah, that was the other side of it.
Yeah. Because he's always got at least one other person in his head.
I'm on the lookout now to see if Lews Therin is coming back.
Okay.
Because the second that you're aware of your crazy talking imaginary friend, maybe he stops appearing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I
Something
get that.
like that?
I get it.
I just want Lews Therin to be real.
I know you do.
I really like that guy. All right, so anyway, this is where Rand says, hey, look, Herod Fell is dead. He was torn apart. It must have been a shadow spawn. And then Rand asks, why was he killed? What could he have told me? And then he berates himself for thinking about this dead man in terms of like, I could have used him further.
That's actually really sad because he says to Min that I'm not a very nice person anymore. A man's dead because of me and all I can do is worry why he was killed.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that Rand feel like he knows it.
He recognizes it.
It's also important because if you remember that note that Herod Fell left, belief and order give strength, have to clear rubble before you can build. Will explain when see you next. Do not bring girl too pretty.
Yeah, no, I remember. And that's when Min's like, oh, I like that guy. He called me pretty.
She has also been like reading his philosophy books.
Yeah.
Because she started borrowing those.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so she's like sad. So that's bad. And then Min's crying. And then she's like, by the way, I just went to Colavir's apartments. And, I thought since you exiled her, maybe there'd be some way around the viewing I had of her, since maybe, you're Taviran and can change things.
Yeah.
Turns out, no. She was in her bedchamber, hanging from one of the bedposts, with her foot hanging above a turned over stool.
Yeah. And she was like dressed in her finest clothes and jewelry. So,
yes.
I mean, one thing your brain might go to is like,
and her
is it
her face is gross. We get the whole description.
Yeah.
Yep, we do. It's not just like, she was hanging there.
It's not like in the movies.
No, there's a thorough description of what
because she would have died from strangulation probably. So I mean, it's not good.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one of the side thoughts you may have had is murder plot. Did someone kill her? Was this like a Dobrain or whatever wanted her dead?
Remotely.
So okay, it's just a thought process some people might have.
Everything I just said prior, no.
Okay, I'm putting it out there.
No. She took matters into her own hands here.
Fair. I agree with you. I'm just stating the opinions.
Yeah. And so when we learn that a nice old man is dead because of us, and a ruler who we tried to show mercy for kills herself.
Yeah.
You know what really gets me in the mood?
Yep.
All of that.
It's grief. And it's a thing.
It's grief.
And it's acceptable.
I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like, kiss me, like she just wants some comfort, and I'm not teasing. No pranks.
Yes.
No pranks, and she says it outright. I wish it was under different circumstances.
Yeah. So if you want to know something about Robert Jordan and Harriet didn't let Robert Jordan write sex scenes because he's bad at it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he's not allowed to write sex scenes. So that's why we get the lead up.
Yeah.
And even sometimes the lead up isn't always the best.
No.
Because RJ was not known for his
Interesting, because he can write in vivid graphic detail about trees.
Yeah, he's really good at everything else. Yeah.
And clothing and trees.
I could pull up an actual quote because I don't know if it was but I'm like 90. It's like Harriet would told him, "Don't do it. You're bad at this."
Interesting, because it's like, ugh.
And you feel that it's bad. You're like, it's not quite right.
Well, that makes the whole 3 hours later thing make a lot more sense.
Oh man, it's good.
Someone in the editing room should have.
There's so many more things to love RJ for, and it's just like, we get it. Okay. They finally did it. We've crossed that bridge.
Super awkward.
We'll deal with it later. You know what?
Rand tries to pull away and says I can't. I have no right. And then she just grabs his hair and is like
going for it.
It. And she thinks if he tries to stop now, I will stab him to death.
Yes.
So
as one does. Okay. Anyways, good prank, Min. So
no, she says no pranking.
Yeah, I know she says that, but we'll deal with this later.
Is he gonna try to marry her now? Do you think?
Well, he basically has to, right?
What
choice does he have?
I'm gonna see the fallout here because immediately after.
Oh, you think there's gonna be fallout from this event?
Well, immediately sleeping with Avienda. After that, he's like, I guess we should get married, and she's like, what? No. So let's see. Because I bet if he asked Min to marry her, she probably would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on because we can deal with that later.
Change perspective.
Yeah. Here we go.
to Cadsuane. We
Yes.
get in her old head.
Very cool. Her very old
Old
dangly-bangly
dangly-bangly head.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
As of the chapter.
Cadsuane is on her way out of the Sun Palace, and she studies the, quote, Aiel Wilders, without being too obvious.
Yeah.
And now she's noting how pretty much every single one of them is staring at the Aes Sedai with contempt. And I guess she'll think about that later, because then she goes on to think about how Rand needs to be kept intrigued enough by her that he lets her near him.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
But he needs to be off balance enough that she can nudge him where she wants him to go without him realizing it. And I just say, good luck, sister.
Yeah, it's
good luck.
You know what? Moraine started to like figure it out.
She did.
But then now she's gone.
After years of knowing him and gaining
and
his trust.
You know what Rand hates the most is when you try to nudge him in directions.
Oh, yes.
Like, he hates the nudging. He would rather you just be like,
honest,
this is what's up.
Yes.
You know, these are the options.
Yes. Yes, he would.
Anyways,
but that's not how Aes Sedai roll.
No. So one of the thoughts that she has is that some people look at the Aes Sedai with, like, awe or adoration or fear, like, and hate, like the White Cloaks, but not contempt. And that's what's happening with the wise ones right now.
Yes.
And we know why. We know why, because the Aes Sedai are terrible. And
but she's like, why do they hate us so much?
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. It's a weird thing that's going on, so.
Yeah. Now, she gets into a coach with a few other of the Aes Sedai.
Her two lackeys. These are her lackeys.
And Cadsuane says out loud, I might skin Elida when I get my hands on her. That fool child has made my task nearly impossible. That's the whole capturing him thing.
Yeah, that would be what that is.
I wonder
she
what
knows
she
the capture.
thinks her task is. Like, what does she want to get Rand to do?
That's what my question was going to be for you. It's like, what do you think her task is? Because she thinks at the very end that Rand will be a good end to her, like, awesome and amazing life.
Yeah.
And from what it seems, what's your, like, Black Aja, Dark Friend Raider?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Just like...
No.
Super powerful, pushy lady?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Very arrogant.
Yeah.
But almost the first person we've met who has the absolute extreme right to be arrogant.
I guess so. Yeah, she's got the resume to back it up.
She is almost at, like, Forsaken level. She's almost like Moghedien or Lanfear level of, you know, kind of arrogance, because she's just seen and done
a lot,
so much more.
There's one thing from her glossary definition that I wanted to read you too, because it says a little known oddity is that the men that she brings to the White Tower tended to live markedly longer after being gentled than those brought by other sisters.
Okay, so she has something.
She does something to make them not die as soon, but it also doesn't seem like they don't not die at all. So
yeah.
It's just something like she has experience.
I wonder if she has, like, some kind of, you know, purpose for them. If she convinces them that there's something to live for. Because that's how Swad and Lyanna were able to keep from, like, withering away in the countryside. And just, like, giving up on everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think that her mentality is, like, Dragon Reborn needs to be gentled?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to make sure we clarify.
That would be crazy.
Well, you know, some sisters feel that way, though.
Yeah,
so.
No. I don't think this.
Okay.
I do think guided and kept on a leash.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what they all think.
I know it's best for the world, and you should listen to me until Tarman guided.
Yeah, and she clearly has her things. Like, she's been alive for 300 years, and the Dragon Reborn has been a topic of conversation for 300 years.
Yeah.
Plus. So
we get one more little hint here, is that she thinks how it's been over 270 years since she last encountered a task she could not perform.
Right.
And she's like, any day might be her last day now because she's close to dying.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing, so she would be about 25, 30-ish.
And I mean, like, that's a nice sentiment to think about yourself.
Right.
That you've never failed at anything.
In 300 years, I've never failed. It's like, okay. Yeah, slow
sure.
clap for Cadsuane.
Sure.
Like, good job.
Sure thing. And I mean, like, her confidence really does stand out. It stands alone.
Sure.
And the fact that everyone just, like, says and does everything that she wants.
It helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
but I'm sure that's just not accurate.
Yeah.
It's about as accurate as Marana being the best
and that's what I was
negotiator in the
that's what I was
world.
going to say is like what happens when you no longer have that authority. Like Marana, for instance, she had the authority until they didn't give it to her, and then she had nothing.
Yeah.
So Cadsuane has all this like built-in authority with
and then
people.
when Rand doesn't,
what happens with Rand or the Asha Man or people who like have legit no respect for her and don't actually care that she's Aes Sedai?
Yeah.
Like, how is that going to play out?
I don't know. I hope he doesn't end up in another box.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Knock on wood. Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Don't say that.
Not like a wooden box, but like the other.
Oh,
okay.
my God. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back for the next chapter. All right. Chapter 20. Patterns within patterns.
Yeah.
And our chapter symbols are for Snaken, of course.
And like I said, contender for one of my favorite chapters because of the information. I'm so excited about this chapter.
Oh, this one is...
This is so exciting about the stuff we learn.
I thought
man.
I thought you meant the first chapter.
No. This one is like huge implications. Huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Okay.
It's very exciting. I've been waiting for so long for this one.
My problem is I'm not 100% what's happening.
Oh, we're going to talk about what's happening.
Good.
Oh, my.
Good.
I can do some callbacks. It's good. Yeah.
Good. You can take the lead on this one then.
Okay.
Because, oh my.
Because you might be reading it thinking, what the heck is going on?
And then,
I don't understand it.
And then at the end, it's like, okay.
I can see where this is going.
I can see where this is going. And to be fair,
yeah,
I have to state for the record,
okay,
this is one of those chapters where I'm annoyed that they didn't give me a chance to make a prediction.
Okay. Oh, about who they are.
Who they are.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is who they are.
This is who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay,
yeah,
let's
but when
do
we
this.
get there, I will tell you who I initially thought or what was happening.
Okay, that's fair. I like that too.
Okay.
I like it.
So we start in a Savannah perspective, and it seems like we are back in time.
Okay.
Because it's only 2 days after Dumais Wells.
Okay.
Or is that where everybody is right now?
That might be where everybody is now.
I don't know. I think that maybe with Rand, he needed like a full day after Dumais Wells. He was searching through bodies.
Sure.
And then that was like the next day they went back to Camelin, to Kyrian.
Let's give it a loosey-goosey. It hasn't been that long.
Because he also showed up in Camelin doing some stuff one night, and all the Aes Sedai have been sort of doing some things. I don't think it's been 2 days. I think maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
I thought actually more than that.
I mean, I could go, I'm not going to go back and look right now, but like, let's just say, okay, a little bit maybe, I'll give you that, and let's move forward.
Okay.
Because honestly, it's not that important. It's not that important.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so Savannah and her companions are sitting in a circle in some clearing, and they're about 100 miles to the west of Dumais Wells, and she says to them, either the Karkarn is not following, or he's been unable to find us.
Yeah. We get some information here, too.
And then that's when we learn it's been 2 full days since the battle.
Yes, and fewer than 20,000 spears have rejoined around Savannah. So, if you remember, how many Aiel originally?
50.
40.
40.
So, less than half of the total Shido are with her right now.
Yeah. Meat grinder.
We also don't know if, like, all 20,000 died. We can assume some are scattered. But
scatter.
Meat grinder.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yes, and also Tharava and most of the Wise Ones are still absent because if you remember, during Dumais Wells, Savannah took half the Wise Ones, Tharava took half the Wise Ones to fight the Aes Sedai and to like fight,
right,
to disrupt their stuff.
Right, and so of the Wise Ones who are still absent, the ones who are tied to Tharava are still missing, or to Savannah.
It sounds like to Savannah,
like
because she had some in the murder plot.
The murder plot. I was going to say, okay.
Yeah. There were 13 originally involved in the murder plot.
Right, yeah.
And there's only 7 here with her.
Ooh.
And it seems like they're all involved too, so, yeah.
Okay. So now one of the Wise Ones is like, all right, if we're going to do this thing, let's just do it. So Savannah takes out the small gray cube from her pouch and puts it down in the middle of the circle.
Here we go.
And at this point, I was like, hold up. Aren't you supposed to only use this thing once you have Rand al'Thor secured?
Yeah.
Savannah?
Yep. And she originally was planning on lying.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we get that here, that she changes what she was gonna say,
right.
and then tells the truth.
Uh-huh.
And then Samuel's like, well, good thing you didn't lie to me, because I hate that.
Right, it is Samuel. Spoiler!
Spoiler if you haven't finished the chapter yet. Like, what the heck are you doing? It's Samuel. Samuel. That's the crazy thing. Samuel's the one who originally gave her the small cube.
Yeah, that is not something I predicted.
No, it's not.
I get a stormy cloud on the prediction board because it was not Pat and Fane.
No.
That was my only prediction.
I was trying to be like, it's a Terangre. It's like, the only way this is going to work.
It's power.
Probably a Forsaken would give a Terangre. So, but no, you didn't bite, so that's okay.
No, I didn't.
That's okay.
I just couldn't see why any Forsaken would want...
Yeah, and we kind of get...
Savannah to capture Rand. You know, like, it just seems so out of the scope. Like, is Savannah... No. Savannah's not a dark friend, right? Because they're in disguise. It's not like, ooh, Samuel gave me this.
Yeah. And the entire time she's thinking, like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I want to kill him. But it's like...
I'm going to make him death sting.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not. Yeah. That's not going to happen, but that's okay.
I'm going to dress him in black.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to do this thing, let's do it. And then she has to do the instructions because she was told how to do it.
But she can't channel.
No, she can't. But it's like touch here with fire on the twisted crescent moon. And then here that looks like a lightning bolt. And then that's supposed to summon the wetlander who gave it to her.
Right. And then what will happen? Oh, well, the guy's going to show up or something.
Yeah. And she's like not answering questions because they're like, how does that work? And she's like, I don't know.
And she's like, whatever, let's just do it. So they all focus in and start. And Savannah thinks that if they decide to lie, they can just claim it didn't work and she'll never know. Because she can't channel.
Yeah.
But then one of them gasps and says, it draws more. Look, fire there, earth, air, spirit. And then they mention that it seems like there are places where the flow is twisting around something that's not there.
Yep.
Hence the male part.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that these Aiel wise ones know about that.
In what sense? That, like,
I don't know. Because I just felt like any male who channels...
Yeah.
is sent away in
That's
the
true.
Aiel, and it's not like they have a bunch of Terangriel that
but
hold the male power. This is like one of those instances that it's like, oh, our weaves are flowing around what seems like nothing.
Well, I just imagine a rope. Like, if you could imagine two ropes, but one's invisible, so one would be twisting around the other, and it would almost seem like there should be another one there.
I agree. That's literally what I'm saying, except for... the thing where we put two and two together
and
that
actually
this
make
is
it
the male half of the power. Like, how do they know that? This seems like almost like an Egwene. How does she know that a male
she deduced
is the one...
it.
I
figured it out.
Oh my gosh, it hurt me when...
I have given
the necklace was taken off.
So many reasons why she might know that.
No,
I have given so many.
Not good enough. And this,
oh my gosh!
This seems similar to that, unless they've but they wouldn't have read it in a book. They don't have books.
They
on
can
channeling.
figure it out. They know there's a male half of the power. Like, that's not unknown. Come on, you got to give them something. They're not total morons.
It just seems, but this isn't a moron thing. If you have no experience or knowledge about this one thing, I'm just asking, how do these wise ones have knowledge or experience on this one
But you're
thing?
also assuming that they know for sure. They're assuming, and that's what they say, that's what it seems like.
I know, but I'm like, how do they assume that? How do they know that at all?
Oh, come on. Boo.
That's what I want to know. No, seriously. And I appreciate, you know what? I appreciate that it's in here because it's a little tip for us that something else is going on here. Because Savannah's like, no, this guy can't channel. No way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's clearly using an Aes Sedai who helps him. Clearly. And so it's funny for us that we're like, nope, this guy clearly can channel.
For sure.
But just as a little thing. And maybe somebody can say, no, the wise ones clearly know somehow. And I would love to know how or why. But I just don't. You're just not buying it. You got to. Oh, okay. I'm picking it apart a little. But let's move on from this. Okay. Because something very exciting happens. When one of the wise ones says, I wonder what would happen if we touched it with fire somewhere else. Yeah. The moment that happens, a man's voice comes from out of the air.
Sure.
power the call box too much or in the wrong way, and it may melt or even explode.
Yeah, but then it cuts off because they all, like, stop channeling into it.
That's right, because they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
How can that happen?
Yeah.
It's a walkie-talkie.
It is a walkie-talkie.
A little portable telephone booth.
Call box.
It's call box. Yeah.
And so Savannah knows that she hadn't really believed much of what the Wetlander told her, but she recognized Kadar's voice.
Yeah, so we got a name.
Yeah.
At what point did you start thinking, like,
well, it's
okay.
very similar to Hadnan Kadir.
Kadir. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
The name just sounded literally the same. It sounds like the same name.
Well,
to
that was
me.
Kadir, and this is Kadar. Come on.
Right.
Very, very different.
Yeah. Anyway, so Savannah tells them to reset and do it again so they can summon him. That's the guy.
Yes.
So they do it again, and Kadar's voice comes through and says, do you have Althor? And Savannah doesn't lie like she was going to.
She was gonna,
abandons that
she doesn't
plan,
then. Yeah.
And instead she says, no, but we still must talk. I'll meet you in 10 days where we first met. And then Kadar is like, good, you told the truth. I don't like being lied to, but if you maintain the way line for location, I will come to you.
Yes.
GPS tracking.
GPS tracking built into the walkie-talkie.
And she's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, he also, like, dumbs it down. It's like, keep doing what you're doing.
And I'll come to you.
Don't,
she's
like,
like,
maintain
what do you
the way.
mean? Right now? Like, right now you're coming?
Yeah, because she wants the 10 days because she thinks, I need the 10 days. It's not going to take us that long to get there, but I need time to, like, prepare the plan. And now he's just showing up.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, what?
Yeah, and Savannah hates that Kadar calls her girl. And the other wise ones are, like, mocking her.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're all kind of stupid because they don't know how the internet works with GPS.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole, like...
Bunch of idiots.
I'm going to make him suffer later.
Yeah, for calling me that. It's like, probably not.
Probably not.
Okay.
So Savannah's like, okay, well, keep going, and if he doesn't come by midday, then we will go. And they argue back and forth about not waiting on a Wetlander, because whatever he promised her isn't worth this, and they're concerned that maybe he can still hear them.
Yeah, because of the call box. Like, who knows if it's not still running?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and what if he's like the Wetlanders in the black coats?
Yeah.
Men who can channel.
So here's the thing. Savannah also doesn't think that the men in the black coats are a thing.
Yeah.
She thinks that the
Aes
Sedai are doing all the things for the men.
I think that she's in denial.
A little bit.
Yep.
A lot of it.
Yeah, for sure. So while they're bickering, something rustles in the trees and then two shapes appear.
Doing the Mask of Mirrors.
Yeah, because it's two dark-skinned people coming in, a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as I got the description of what they were wearing,
okay,
I knew who this was. Because the man is wearing a dark coat with lace at the cuffs and neck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Samuel.
Okay, that's what.
And then the woman is wearing like a skin tight dress showing her boobies off.
Yeah.
And
it's a super hot red dress.
I was
like, come on.
Grandel.
There you go.
Like
nailed
right
it.
away, like without anything. I was like, if I know anything about fashion.
And like they're the ones working together too. Like we know that they're working together. We've got a bunch of interactions.
Yeah, because at first I was a little thrown off by like the dark skin because I was like, ooh, what Forsaken have we not really got any physical descriptions of yet?
Yeah.
And for me, in my brain, it's most of them.
Okay.
I can't remember. So I'm like, what does Semirog look like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what Semirog... What does Demandred look like? I don't know. I actually have no idea.
Okay.
So I was like, could this be... Because, like, I knew it was Forsaken.
Sure, yeah.
But at some point, I kind of wavered, and then, like, when, you know, the voluptuous
yeah, you're
silk
like, oh,
red
okay,
dress,
okay.
I was like, oh, it's Grandel for sure.
It.
And I don't think Grandel's working with anyone else right now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I have to point out, we get Grandel and Samael working together here, and them talking about stuff at the end of this chapter. And a couple episodes ago, I told you that it was like impossible. They were never going to hear for Grandel and Samael talking to each other again. So I stand corrected.
Shoot.
I stand corrected.
It's kind of funny because I thought about who you might think these people are. The immediate description is he's wearing a black coat.
Yeah.
But then she thinks at least he didn't wear a sword. So I thought your brain was going to go to like Ashaman in the black coat with swords. I just thought you were going to kind of put something together with that. But yeah, that's fair too.
Yeah, no, because he can clearly channel.
Yeah, and Ashaman can channel.
Oh, right.
That's kind of their whole deal, you know?
Oh yeah. No. No.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I like that.
Because I think that she would have been even more pissed off. Like, I think she would have lost her shit if it was like she recognized the black coats as the Asherman
it's just
black
like
coats,
it's a black coat.
Because she just talked about the disdain for them.
Sure.
And how she didn't think they could channel. But, that's
fine.
My brain didn't go there at all.
That's okay. That's
and
fine.
also my brain just stopped working.
That's okay. Then. It happens.
Okay, where were we? Oh, the man and the woman are arguing, which furthers the Sammy Brandy plot.
Yeah.
Because can they ever get along?
No, not really.
And we get that the woman can channel and is very, very strong.
Yes.
And Savannah's like, okay, stop channeling to the box. They're clearly here. Let me do all the talking.
But they've already stopped channeling into the box. But also, I want to note that one of these wise ones, so Marin, has never encountered a woman nearly as strong as she is. And by her tone, the woman here is strong. So, like, so Marin's, like, very powerful.
And even though it's not typically their way to defer to the strongest, it seems like naturally...
Maybe a little bit.
They defer to her a little bit, yeah.
But then also Grendel comments on the fact that she's not negligible in the power.
Right.
So just like even Grendel admits that this woman is not nothing.
Not nothing.
So.
Okay. So now Savannah formally greets Kadar and the woman, and Kadar says, this is Myaza.
Is that how it was pronounced?
I have no idea.
Mazia?
Myaza.
There you go. That works.
I told you to use a single wise one, Savannah, not 7.
That was the book correction. Yeah.
Some men might be suspicious. And Savannah says, well, have you brought the thing that can control Randall Thor? And he says, why? Do you have him?
Yeah. Nope.
And she's like, no. And he's like, well, then why would I bring it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And I just went, oh, no.
Why? What?
The thing that can control Randall Thor should be at the bottom of the deepest trench in the ocean.
So that's what you think he's referring to?
Uh-huh.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
like, actually. Okay.
What else what else physical thing that all the Forsaken and Moghedian and Black Aja and everybody was looking for in what? Book...
Yeah.
3, 4?
So here...
I don't remember. It was book 4, right?
Yeah.
And in book 4, when the whole, like, Adam that can control a male thing?
No, I remember that thing. But my question was, maybe I should have worded it a little bit better. So, initially, yes, I can see your brain going there. But by the end of this chapter, it sounds like Samael is just, like, blatantly lying to these women.
Yeah.
About all the things that he has.
Sure. Like what else?
The traveling boxes? Because he's like, yeah, I have those. Well, I'll get you traveling boxes or whatever they're called.
Right.
Sure, why not? Because he's got his own plan. And then Grendel kind of calls him out. He's like, were you just like lying to them? And he's like,
we can get there.
Okay. So the question is like, does he actually have anything that can control Rand? Like, is that even a thing?
Maybe he wants to have it by the time that Rand is caught.
Right? It's all the things Samael wants to have.
I mean, like, Samael's a little,
He's a bit of a wild card, a bit of a question mark. Like, we don't really know what he actually has.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like he still kind of thinks that there's a truce.
And he's also... That's the thing.
Like, I was like, is he still lying to Grendel about this?
It seems like he's super lying about it.
Or does he still think that there actually might be... Maybe there was, like, a crossed wire...
Yeah.
...in the... transmission
of
the message back to him with the guy dying.
Maybe
there was a legit cross
and also
wire.
Like the Nameless thing though, like because he's kind of referring to himself as Nameless when it's like, is that 100% sure thing? Like,
of course
we
not.
Don't know.
Of course not, Samuel. Of course not.
I don't know. So that's the weird thing. So maybe he's just lying about all of this and everyone's just
okay. Well, let me tell you, my brain immediately went to the thing that can control Randall Thor.
That's fair.
And I already have the feelers out for
the radar.
For that.
Sure.
That didn't get disposed of like it should have.
Oh no, and Samael has it.
Well, if like Doman got raided again, or
sure,
before he got it out to the sea. I mean,
I'm trying to think. Like, have we seen? Yeah. Okay.
There's lots of things, or if he decided to keep it as a treasure instead of throwing it away.
It would have been in his hidey hole though,
exactly.
And his stuff is totally safe there.
Not if it gets raided again.
Oh no.
Anyway, okay. I still don't think that it's where it's supposed to be.
Well, and this is the thing, because in the next like paragraph, Savannah asks him, okay, what about the Aes Sedai? Can that thing also control Aes Sedai? And then he's like, sure, if the price is right. But it's like, that thing that we saw that could control Rand is not something designed to control Aes Sedai women. Like, that's not a thing.
And he's like, why?
Yeah.
You missed Althor, but have you captured Aes Sedai?
Yeah.
And then my mind went, oh, did you guys capture some Aes Sedai? Is this where Galena is? Because Galena just, like, wasn't at the end, and the shadow, like, ran away.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, maybe they did end up capturing her, but then
we saw Savannah run,
and then also immediately,
sure,
it's, no, they don't have any Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But that's where my mind went. I was like, maybe this is where she went.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, Samuel's now lying about, like, oh, yeah, sure, it can control Aes Sedai too if the price is right. It's going to cost you a lot of money, though. Or, like, cost you a lot of something.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, the Wise Ones want some proof of them being able to do things. So then we get this little scene where Kadar makes Mazia.
Sammy and Grandy.
Yeah. Yeah, except she's so angry about this name. This might be her, like, you know the name that Lanfear hated?
Sure.
Like her original name?
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Not her Forsaken name.
I could see that.
And she's like, don't ever call me that or I'll kill you.
Yeah, and we know that they're in a link right now.
Yes.
And that he's controlling her in the link.
Right.
So,
which is a sketchy thing.
Yes.
When a man and woman are linked. Because someone has more control.
Yeah, the man has control of the link if it's two people.
And
so she's basically at his mercy for now.
Right. Okay. So they make the little call box spin around in the air to prove that she has the power. Like, they already know that she has the power. Like, why?
It's a weird little scene, but it's enough to impress the Wise Ones.
But the problem is, I don't understand what's happening.
The Forsaken are just effing with the Wise Ones, and they're biting on it.
Which is fine, because I hate Savannah, so whatever.
Yeah. Like, of anybody, sure, let's do this.
It's kind of funny. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Savannah here wants to know how they traveled here so fast, and if they can teach them that.
Yes.
And the man's like, oh, well, that's not something she does, not by herself.
It's like a call box, right? And he's just lying. Like, we can figure out this is just not true.
Traveling boxes.
Yes, and I can get you many of them, but they're going to cost you more.
And they take you to richer lands.
It's like, we know they're just using gateways to travel.
Savannah likes the sound of that, though. She's like, cool. Richer lands. Cool.
Yeah. And it's just like, is he using it as an excuse, or is it just like a ploy? It's some sort of plot.
I don't know.
Like, he's totally just making things up.
I know. This whole thing was a little confusing for me, especially before it's really clarified who they are.
Yeah.
Like, my first read-through was quite confusing.
That's fair.
Right? Like, I kind of got that these were Forsaken, but I didn't get the point. I didn't know what their target was, what their goal is. Like,
and we get more of that at the end of this next perspective.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, in a second read-through, this scene made way more sense than the first time I read it, because I had no clue.
Yes.
I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do some callbacks in this next perspective, so let's...
Okay, so let's jump into it. Perspective unknown.
Yeah, well, we have the Watcher.
The Watcher.
So this is huge. I just want you to know...
Should I know who this is? Should I have picked up who this is? Because I actually... Because right now, as it stands...
Sure.
I have a feeling at the end of this, you're going to ask me if I have a feeling who this is.
Oh, yeah. So this is like,
But let me tell you.
Huge chapter.
Let me tell you. As of right now,
okay,
I have zero idea who this is.
That's okay.
I have a couple clues.
Okay.
And I'm hoping by the end of our conversation,
you can
I might be able to think of something.
Okay.
So, full disclosure, I know it's a male who can channel.
Yeah.
And is from a long time ago. So, because they're using words like fan cloth.
Yeah. Yep, totally.
But it's a male who can channel because they can feel when Grandel stops channeling.
Yep.
And so it's clearly a Forsaken.
Okay. A
male Forsaken.
Gotcha.
So, those are my choices right now.
And then we'll go through...
But, who or why? No idea. Those are all the clues I got.
I like it, but that's the thing. Big mystery, the Watcher. If it is, then why the Watcher perspective,
Yeah.
Because we met...
Except for, unless it's somebody else who's been brought back.
Oh, my goodness.
But we haven't been informed of it yet.
It's
Ishmael or
okay. Oh, you mean
or Bilal?
Okay.
Someone who died and was brought. Oh no,
Bilal
Bilal was Balefare.
He was the first original.
But Ishmael technically,
could
come back.
Okay.
Or Agenor.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
you
let's
already maybe
like-
have thoughts for Agenor.
No, I know, but it's the other one, Osingar. But then why wouldn't we just
Balthamel,
get...
you already... Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
the thing. So let's do the
Okay,
chapter, and then let it soak in whilst we talk.
That's what I was hoping for.
I like it. Okay.
The Watcher ghosted through the trees, making no sound. Ooh.
Yeah, spooky. Seriously, you have no idea how big this freaking chapter was?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean was?
Like back in the day, when the books weren't all released,
Yeah.
so-and-so, you know.
Well, that's like how I'm reading them now.
I know.
It's okay.
But like within the fan community.
Oh, speculation.
Yeah.
And stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now it's kind of like, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So anyways, this Watcher thinks it's wonderful what you can learn with a call box, especially where there seem to be only 2 others.
Okay.
So he used their call box to like...
Maybe listen in. It's like a
Listen
walkie-talkie, but then there's like a third walkie-talkie.
Okay.
And you can
they
listen
like,
in.
And they got to the right channel
Yeah.
where you're listening to someone else's
Because there's not very
conversation.
many, so it's like you could only tune to so many, you know, stations or whatever.
So then the Watcher thinks Grandal maintained the Mask of Mirrors. Correction.
Yep, that's the correction.
Yeah. That hid her true form, but Samael dropped his right away, and he let the link between the 2 dissolve.
Yeah, so that's like a huge jam-packed, you know, sentence on the first read-through.
Yep.
That it's like, boom, that's Samael and Grendel.
Yep.
And also they were linked, but now it's dissolved.
Right.
It's a whole lot of information.
That's
but
right. Okay.
the funny thing is that the Watcher thinks maybe letting the link dissolve wasn't smart, but maybe Samael's bravery was really stupidity and blindness, but he's still holding Sidene, so maybe he's not totally unaware of the danger.
Okay.
So, again, points to the fact that this guy can channel Sidene, too, because he can feel that Samael is also.
That's right. So the Watcher is following and listening and thinks, you know, they have no idea I'm here. And when somebody thinks that, it's like, maybe someone has some idea you're there.
Maybe, but this
Yeah.
one seems kind of like I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt in this case because he's in a super disguise.
Yeah, he is.
It's really cool.
He thinks the true power drawn directly from the Great Lord could neither be seen nor detected except by who wields it. And then black flecks float across his vision, and he thinks that there's a price, to be sure, one that grows with each use, but he has always been willing to pay the price when it is necessary.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a freaking mic drop.
Yeah, so this is clearly bad guy.
Okay, but here's the thing. We know the one power
Yes,
has Sidene and Sidar.
that's right.
We have now a secondary,
The
true power drawn directly from the Great Lord. Can't be detected except by those who wield it, and there's black flecks floating across the eyes.
Now listen, is this similar to in the Eye of the World when whoever Rand was fighting had black?
No, that's separate. That's not the
ropes?
same. Nope.
That's Sidar.
That is Sidene?
Sidene.
That is not even Sidene, no. That was
Oh.
the connection to the Dark One.
That's just a connection. That
Yeah.
had nothing to do with wielding the power.
Not the true power. You can't just call it the power anymore. There's now the one power, and there is the true power.
Okay.
So the true power is drawn directly from the Great Lord.
See, I didn't even pick up on that because I thought it was just his, like, fancy old-timey way. You know how, like, they have different words for different things?
Yep.
And so I thought maybe back in the day they would call the one power the true power.
Let me rewind this
Okay.
back to the Shadow Rising.
Oh, the Shadow Rising. Okay.
Okay, here we go. In Chapter 26, The Dedicated, during Charn's perspective during the literal Age of Legends,
In
we
the
had
Ruidian columns, right?
Yes.
Because you got to be very specific about
Yes.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
So this is Rand looking back in time.
in time to the literal Age of Legends.
Okay.
So, Charn thinks about how Mierin, his Aes Sedai, who's Lanfear, and he thinks today's the day. She had found a new source for the one power. Female and male would be able to tap the same source, not separate halves. What men and women could do united would be even greater now that there was no differences. Today, Mierin and Betamon would tap into it for the first time, and it's the last time that men and women would wield different powers.
Okay.
And then we see the tiny chip of white spinning away from the Sharome. So the Sharome was like the big floating thing in the sky that was above like the Colum Dan, which was like the big university thing.
Sure.
So there's chips of white spinning away from the Sharome, the floating thing in the sky, and then turns to jet black fire, and then it starts to descend, and then starts to blow up into a huge fire, and then the Sharome breaks apart, and that's when, like, darkness spreads across the sky.
Yeah.
So that's when Amyrlin is, like, literally tapping into the Dark One's essence.
Okay.
The true power.
Well, and that was the boar, right?
The boar, exactly. But, like, that was the thing. So Charn breaks into a run and runs towards the Column Dan, but it's too late. So then we kind of get that whole backstory of the location of the boar being drilled was at the Column Dan. So this is where the boar was drilled.
Yeah.
Which is the Dark One, which is the true power being drawn directly from the Dark One. So this Watcher is using the true power, that source that both men and women can tap into.
Okay, but it, like, affects his vision.
It does. There's a price that we don't know what the price is, but he thinks there's a price to pay, but he's always been willing to pay it.
Okay. All right. So, interesting. Now, I don't have anything for you on that, so let's
just
keep going.
You want to know what's even funnier? I got one more piece of information
funny.
here.
I like funny.
It is funny.
Is it ha-ha funny?
It is.
Okay.
You know the Winter Dragon?
Oh, yes.
So that really terribly made piece of Wheel of Time content.
Yes. Yeah, we know it.
With Billy Zane?
With Billy Zane.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the Winter Dragon, it literally references the true power, and I hate it.
Oh.
Because it says that the one power is used by the good guys, and the true power is used by the bad guys.
Oh.
And the first time we watched it, I thought, because I'd never seen it before, but we watched it, and I thought, oh my god, this is terrible.
We know this. We can't know this already.
We can't know this because this isn't something that comes out till book 7.
Yeah.
But they did it in the Winter Dragon prologue.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it sort of looks like people who had never read the books adapted.
And it's a weird take that's
chapter.
Like, it's not even like, no, that's not how it goes. So.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Like, the bad guys don't use, like, this is literally the first instance.
Time we've seen a bad guy using this. Yeah, okay.
But anyways, Winter Dragon. So, hey,
that's annoying. Okay.
Yeah, if you go back and, like, you don't have
it's
to.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, if
go back and watch it.
If you haven't seen that, it is a piece.
It's a piece of
work.
It
is a piece of work. From, like, what,
I have a question for them. How dare you?
I know, right?
Anyways, fun information for you.
Fun.
Okay, let's continue, because, true power.
Okay, so Samuel is saying, of course I had to have you with me. You answered 100 questions just by being there.
Yeah, like, how's he doing all these things? Oh, it must be the woman.
Yeah. I can't believe she actually suggested what I wanted.
Yeah. So what did she suggest? The traveling thing.
The traveling thing.
Yeah.
Traveling boxes?
Yeah.
Mean?
She wants to know about
how to
travel, and that's what he wants. That's what the setup is, and he talks about his plan in a second too.
Okay, good. Yeah, because then Grandel's like, I never thought you would keep your truce with Althor longer than you must, but this?
And again, like,
what?
Lying?
What's happening? Is he lying still? Does he actually think this is happening?
Yeah, and the Watcher thinks, like, that's weird. If that's true, that's, like, crazy. And also crazy if it's not true, and she's saying it.
It's risky if it's a false claim, but then it's also, like, crazy if it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
We know it's not true.
We know that Rand thinks it's not true, but we don't know for sure that Samuel doesn't think that it's not true.
I'm pretty sure he knows.
Yeah, I think he's just bullshitting too.
I think so,
because he seems to be doing a whole lot of that.
Yeah, and then Samuel said, I didn't arrange his kidnapping, but Missana had a hand in it. Maybe Demandred and Semirog also might have been a part of it, despite how it ended.
Yeah, and we know that Missana had a hand in it because we got to see, like, her knowing about it going down.
Right.
And she was expecting him to be arriving at the tower
Right, because it's likely, because we know Galena and the other Red who were there were Black Aja, or are Black Aja.
Yeah.
And so it's likely Missana gave orders to them well.
For sure.
And then if I'm sticking with my prediction of Time-Andred,
right,
which I am.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah. And then how does Semirog play into that? Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Forsaken all around.
Yeah, they're all
You
kind of...
get a Forsaken plan, and you get a Forsaken plan, and you get a
Everybody
Forsaken
gets
plan.
their own Forsaken plan.
Right,
Yeah.
all right. Let's try to figure them all out.
Sure.
No. Boo. Boo that. It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
I know.
Okay, so Grendel asks why Samuel is continuing with the Aiel, because Rand being with Masana is one thing, but with this savage is another.
Yeah, like, they'd rather him be with the Forsaken than with Savannah, because she's, like, they're Forsaken, but Savannah's just terrible.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And now...
So this is a hint of the plan.
Ooh, yes, okay.
So then she says, well, not that Savannah's going to have much chance at getting to Rand if you really intend on sending them off to loot. So Samuel's plan is send the Shido off to loot.
Where, though?
Exactly. We don't know, but that's why she was literally bringing up his plan about asking about traveling.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Was like, I have traveling boxes
Yes.
that can bring you to richer lands.
Yeah.
So he's going to show up, open a gateway
with
for
traveling
them
boxes.
with a traveling box.
Yeah, in quotations, yeah.
Because they understand a terrestrial.
They understand but they don't understand
traveling.
traveling necessarily.
Okay.
So, and that's why Grendel says, and traveling boxes, what's your game there? Like,
Yeah.
is that a real, like, and it sounds like it's just not a real thing.
It sounds not real.
It sounds not real, so it sounds like he's just going to show up.
And then Grendel's like, I won't teach them compulsion.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your game plan?
Yeah.
But we know that Masana taught Alviarin gateways.
Yes.
So, I mean, we have Forsaken. I don't know if they're getting desperate or if they're forming bonds with some of their people that they like
the
trust
underlings,
and right?
Like maybe a little bit.
We're getting a little bit more of them really interfering.
And also, like, you would be more useful if you were better at things.
Yeah.
Like, you would be a more useful servant
I'm
to me.
totally on board with competence.
Yeah.
I agreed. Let's all teach everyone everything.
Yeah.
Even the bad people.
Everybody, yeah. So anyways, and then we get one more little hint.
Except for Egwene. Egwene should not teach the other Aes Sedai
Right.
anything else.
Exactly.
Ever again.
They don't need to know anything else.
Never.
So Grendel has one more little hint because she says, I'm not going to teach him compulsion. One of the women wasn't terrible, which was the one we saw. Then she asks if Samuel has a binder hidden away with his other toys. So we don't really know what a binder is, but a binder sounds like something you bind people with, which would probably be similar to compulsion, but different. Like to bind someone to...
Your will?
Your will, you're doing something, you know? So...
I don't know. Maybe because she talked specifically about compulsion before she talked about the binder.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
I didn't pick that up at all.
But anyway, Samuel's got a plan. Loot richer lands.
Okay.
Gateways with the Shido.
Through traveling boxes.
Yes.
Quotations.
Yes.
So now Samuel stops and glances behind them, and the Watcher stands very still.
I love this part.
And he's not worried he'll be seen because he's covered in fan cloth except for his eyes.
Yeah.
And now that's warder cloaks, right?
That is warder cloak, which used to be just fancy clothes.
Yeah.
Not even, it's just like for decoration, like for cool clothes.
Oh.
That was Age of Legends, like cool, neat fashion.
Well, I thought the ones who were sort of a little bit on some kind of guard
No.
wore them.
It was fashionable.
Oh.
Way back. And then it started to be used during the war.
Right, okay.
Because it's like actually being camouflage is pretty useful.
Yes.
Now warders do that, but also that's why they look like floating heads.
I know.
But this guy has a mask of fan cloth.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like really smart.
Cool.
Yeah. A skulker's mask.
Yeah, and then he thinks how he has expertise in many areas that Samuel thinks are stupid. Including this, like, physical camouflage, probably.
Yeah, so that's actually really important for clues who this might be.
Because this isn't the power, right?
No, fan cloth is just like a skill. Like, you can make fabric.
Typically, people who use the power don't think of things without the power as, like, useful.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, I'm not going to get really good at making fabric if I can channel.
Right. True.
But anyways, the hint about who this person might be, they at least know a decent amount about Samuel and what he has and hasn't studied.
Okay.
And he's got skills to pay said bills.
This guy does?
This guy does.
This guy has skills.
He has skills. Many.
Okay. Good clue.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot to work with.
There you go.
Cool.
Just, let it soak in for a bit.
Cool. All right. Someone who's good at something.
We get more of the black flecks speeding faster and faster.
No problem. Yeah, we do have that.
It's pretty cool.
And then Samuel opens a gateway and says, "Did you think I was telling the truth. They will go where I send them and do as I wish. As will you, Messiah.
Yeah, I don't think it's Messiah. Mazia? It's gotta be like that.
Okay, that's fine. And Grendel drops her illusion and tells Samael to not call her that again. And then the Watcher tenses and wonders if he should interfere.
Yeah, because he thinks like legit she might try and kill him.
Yeah. And then Samael says, remember who will be nameless, Grendel, and steps through his gateway. Grendel stands looking at it. Another slash opens, but then she drops her weave and then follows Samael through his. And then that's the little tidbit about the Watcher feels a tingle.
Yes.
When she was channeling and felt it go away.
Yep,
so that's
just another hint.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's when the Watcher picks up the whole nameless thing, because he thinks that's why Grendel is listening to Samael. Mm-hmm. Because if she legit thinks that he might be nameless, then she's not going to step on toes.
That the Watcher smiles. Yeah. And thinks of him saying nameless.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he also thinks
haha, that's funny that Samael thinks he'll be nameless.
But also, even if that is true today, it doesn't have to be true tomorrow, because, again, Morhane's like, he's done a bunch of stuff that's changed the way things are going within the span of a day. So
right now, at this point, the Watcher considers going back to the clearing and killing the 7 women, and I was like, yeah, do it.
Nope,
because they would die super easy, and he doubts they even know how to form a true circle, and he would be right.
Yeah, for sure.
And then decides he'll let that run its course for now, and I was like, damn it. That would have been so good. Just so easy. Just get rid of Savannah here for us, for Rand. Do Rand a solid.
Yeah.
So we just don't have to deal with that again. And then Samael's plan would be ruined. Like, that would be cool.
It'd be so good.
It would be okay.
Maybe later.
I'd be on board with that.
Maybe later.
But then he uses the true power.
The true power, not the one power.
Yeah, I just wrote, like, power, because I just
got to differentiate.
I didn't get it, but now I get it.
Yeah.
And he rips a small hole and steps outside the pattern.
Whoa.
I wonder where all these bubbles of evil are popping up out of.
Okay.
Like, probably some rip in the pattern,
Maybe
right?
everyone should stop ripping holes in the pattern.
Probably
it's trying to keep itself together.
Stop it.
Yeah.
We worked really hard to weave that.
You pull the thread and then the whole pattern unravels.
Right? We work hard for that wheel to weave this pattern.
And we got this Watcher. So, okay.
Don't rip it.
Okay. So.
Can you tell me?
No, probably not.
No. Can you tell me the Forsaken who are male and alive?
Definitely. So let's go through all the males and we'll just talk about what may or may not be happening with them. Okay, so we got Agenor, who you think may be back.
Yeah.
In the form of Erengar/Osengar.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Asmodean, who's
Halima, by the way.
Right.
One of them's Halima.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We've got Asmodean, who is dead.
Who's dead.
And according to the Dark One, isn't coming back because he's a traitor.
Or the Dark One says a lot of things.
True.
And I don't buy everything he ever says.
Does the Watcher give off Asmodean vibes?
No.
Okay. Too confident.
A little bit.
Right?
Not harpy enough.
Okay. Balthamel. That was the guy who died Eye of the World.
Erengar or Osengar, right?
Yes. Again, that's one of those you thought.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Balal got Bale fired. Balal's gone. Demandred
is around. Probably Taim.
You think Taim. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, wouldn't be the Watcher?
Might be.
But why? Why not just give us Demandred?
Yeah.
Why not say this is Demandred?
Because he's Taim. Because because he doesn't know if he's going to give us a Taim perspective or a Demandred perspective.
Okay.
And so we get neither.
Okay.
That's what I'm leaning towards right now. Because I like that. Okay, that's a fun theory. Okay.
Ravine.
Ravine's dead.
He's dead. He's gone.
Bale fired. Bale fired the shit out of that guy. Not even just like a little Bale fired. That guy gone. Okay.
And then Samael.
Okay, who is here?
Who's here?
Yeah.
Not a dual thing? Okay. Twin brother. Nope. Okay. And then the last one would be Ishamael.
Oh, yeah. Who I said maybe, but...
Who triple died.
No, okay, I'm gonna go Taim. Taim Demandred.
I like it. Okay, you know what? I like it.
Taim Andred.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's who this is.
That's the working theory.
That's the theory.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I think if it is Demandred and
Because he's doing a lot of stuff.
I mean, I guess it
So I
could fit.
guess he'd want to stay hidden.
Yeah, he wants to know what's up. The fan cloth, no Samael, so the D-man. It's just like that dual thing. It could work, potentially.
And I mean, I'm still a little bit like, how? How is Taim Demandred?
Yeah.
Right? Because has Demandred met with everybody, his Forsaken Alliance since all of this? Like, has anyone seen him? Like, has he taken over?
Sure.
Because it's clearly not a Mirrors of Mist thing, because lots of people get pretty close to him, I think, unless he's just, like, really good. Or if it's a Dark One help thing, because you never know. You never know what's actually... That's the problem, is, like, anything is possible.
So here's the only thing that's, like, a little bit
not.
tough, is that we've got this true power, which is not new to the Watcher. It's new to us, but it's not new to him, because he thinks there's a price to pay, and he's got, like, flex floating around his eyes, going super fast, but he's always been willing to pay the price, whatever that price is.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I don't know.
Just, okay, you gotta tuck everything away. Ugh. A lot of stuff you gotta tuck away.
I know.
From these chapters.
My brain's so big.
Yeah. I can hold a lot.
Oh my God.
It's good. It's
I'm
great.
gonna need a bigger hand.
For sure.
Gonna need more brain room.
Yeah.
It's getting more complicated.
It is. And don't worry, we're almost halfway through.
You know what? In these chapters, I think in the first chapter, we're officially halfway through this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, over the halfway mark next episode. But, yeah, now. We're like...
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Fun. So now, before you go and accidentally summon a Forsaken and think that you are in complete control, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast, and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review, because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening, because this really is part of the pattern now.